Alrighty, man, we should be live now because I know this way will work. And let me just make sure that this is right, and I'm gonna move on with my life because this shit here is ridiculous. I believe. Yep. Okay. Man, let me tell you. I hope that I am live. Am I live now? I believe so, yes. Okay. Boy, talk about pissed off to the highest level of festivity. Now, I think I'm good. Yes, okay. Man, let me tell y'all something. Google is one of the best search engines that I have ever used. It is the best search engine available. It is the best search engine in the world, Craig. But let me tell y'all about this YouTube Creator Studio. This shit is so confusing that it pisses me off. I tried to actually get beside myself and do I wanted to configure and set up a show and call myself. I did all the stuff I needed to do with my broadcaster, but I did not know that the YouTube web page itself has the streaming software and all of that shit in it. And in order for you to actually hook everything up with my broadcasting software, it has to read something. It's a bunch of settings that I don't know. So they done made this shit way beyond my technical abilities, and I left that shit alone. So I had a show set up, was actually ready to go and do my thing. I honestly was. I shared the show like I normally did. I thought I was doing something that was gonna have it be a little more structured, but it all went to shit and nothing synced up. It's trying to tell me to use this and to use that, and then when I did that, it said it wasn't strong enough, and my computer is definitely strong enough, but I don't know. But either way, I made it. I almost gave up. I almost threw in the towel and said to hell with this. I'm just gonna go to bed and be done. But I said I'm no quitter, and damn it, I will prevail. And I have. So I wound up just shutting everything down and starting it all over and creating a new one. I didn't want to do that because I had already shared the link for the initial stream that I created. But that didn't work out, and I initially just had to say either I'm gonna keep fooling around with this thing and it's gonna be another 2 hours, or I just need to go ahead and stream the show the right way. And that's exactly what I decided to do. I said I'm gonna go with what the hell I know, and what I know, it works. So I'm telling you right now, YouTube Creator Classic, YouTube Creator, the new one, it all sucks. If I got my XSplit, it should know what the XSplit is like it do when it go live, and it should just work. Y'all need to figure that shit out. Fix it, figure it out, do whatever you got to do. But whatsoever you be, you should know that what you got working right now, I don't want to do all that. So now that that's out the way, let me exhale and let me go ahead and get into what I'm here to do, and let's move forward.
Children from fatherless homes in this country, 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children who have a father in the home. 32 times more likely to run away. 20 times more likely to have a behavioral disorder. 14 times more likely to become sexually aggressive or commit rape. 10 times more likely to engage in drug abuse. It just breaks my heart. No heat, no judgment.
The woman will open up and say, you know what, not having my father really is a problem, really is an issue. And I wish we could get more black women to just point out, wait a minute, it's not cool that your kids don't have that father. It's not it's not cool that you didn't grow up with yours. It's not, I don't need no man. It's not, fathers don't matter. It's not, niggas ain't shit. It's actually, we as a people, we as a culture, we as a community have to deal with each other. And in dealing with each other, if we're creating children, if we're having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with the fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children.
And that there was my boy Tommy Sotomayor. If you don't know, now you know. Make sure you go and you buy the movie at fatherlessamerica.com. You can go to amazon.com and get it. Support the movie. Support the channel. Hey, it speaks for itself. It is a great documentary. It's a great film. I'm so proud of my brother. He really did his thing. So if you have not seen it, if you have seen it, tell somebody else about it. Buy it as a gift. I will be buying. I already got the movie myself, but I must just start buying a copy every time I get paid, and then I'm just gonna bless somebody with it just to keep supporting my brother. And I encourage everybody else that's in Soto Nation or everybody else that has seen the movie, let's go ahead and support our brother, and let's go ahead and buy the film. So shout out to my man Tommy Sotomayor. Shout out to everybody in the chat who hung in there, stuck with your boy to come through and say, hey, we still gonna ride with you even though you fucked up your damn stream. I know, but I'm here and we still doing the damn thing. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. So let's get it cracking. Now, if you have been watching my streams, you saw the other night I did a stream about just regular, should a man hit a woman? Pretty much that's what I talked about. That's what it was about. And it's like, hey, is it okay for us as men to whomp on a woman's ass? And that was just the question. That was the debate. That was the issue. And we talked about it. And I think that we made some really good headway on the subject. I think that we came to a great conclusion. As Tommy always says, equal rights equals equal lefts. Get your equal left. So if there is a part of that to where you got, you know, women jumping on men, men jumping on women, it's like, hey, to defend yourself should be your right. Now, With that being said, and in all fairness, there is another part of this that I felt as though I needed to approach. And that part of this was the whole domestic abuse part. Because the part that I talked about before, these were just strangers. Just women talking shit to men and spitting on men and all kind of shit. Arguing with bus drivers, getting uppercutted and all that type of shit. This here is more of a relationship type of thing. And this is when people are in intimate relationships with each other and there's actual abuse going on. And one of the biggest things that I saw about this was just the whole domestic abuse piece. And I think that it's something that should be talked about. And I wanted to do my due diligence and, in all fairness, cover the whole shebang, if you will. So one of the things that I saw about this was a Red Table Talk that really talked about domestic abuse, and it was very, 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 very interesting to me and thought-provoking. So I wanted to do that with you guys, and also there is another piece to this that I'm going to talk about after this. So you say spitting is all bets are off, right? Exactly. I mean, and that was one of the things I talked about with my brother Easy earlier today. It's like once you spit on somebody, that is probably the epitome of just disrespect. To spit on somebody, and it's like to just, there's just a point of just not being able to come back from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can fight, you can argue, throw stuff and all that kind of stuff, but it's like there's a part to that where spitting comes into play. And even for me personally, just I think that when you put your foot on somebody, you know, the stomp, if you will, I think that's a whole nother level of disrespect too. So it's like there are just some things that, hey, certain people can't come back from, but there are other people that are used to that and they can deal with it. And I think that that's a part that needs to be discussed as well, and I want to do that tonight. So let's go ahead and dive right in. However, I do need to play this part because I played it in the other stream that got messed up, but yeah, I need to go ahead and do that now. So come on, my good thing, and talk to us. Tell us about this.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
All right now. So as y'all know, I'm a pretty, I would say that I'm a fan of the Red Table Talk. I like the conversations and the work that Jada has done. Shout out to Jada Pinkett. And this was definitely one of those things that when I saw this, I said, I want to do this. So this is actually some pretty good information. It's actually very good. And like I said, I think it's going to bring out some good points for us to build on tonight. So without further ado, let's Red Table Talk.
I knew that my mother and my father had a very violent relationship early on. She has a couple scars on her body that as a child, I was just curious. I was like, oh, mommy, what's that? What's that? And she's like, oh, well, you know, my mother wasn't one to not tell the truth. This will be the first time that Willow's actually heard these stories about her grandfather, who she knew. Domestic violence is something that affects so many women, and this was one of the most requested topics from our Red Table Talk family. Here we are. Hey, Red Table Talk family, how you doing today? We're talking about a pretty serious subject matter, domestic violence and abuse in relationships.
Wow.
Gammy had at least one abusive relationship before I was born, and even a bit after I was born, with my father. What was the worst incident that you experienced with my father?
Oh, there was so many.
Really?
Yeah, like I have a scar on my back.
Well, that's
now.
now you know what? When I asked you about that years ago, that's when I first heard, because that's the scar when he threw you over the banister.
Yeah. Wow. And not to make this like an excuse, because I'm getting ready to make it sound like it's an excuse for him, but he was typically in an altered state. when he was abusive like that. He
So
was
high
typically
or
drunk.
drunk?
Yeah.
A violent drunk.
Mhm.
See, I was a violent drunk too. That's why I had to stop drinking.
Yeah, he was a violent drunk.
Boom. So that brings me like to my first point. And this was like real. I was really like impressed with how Jada like was really just transparent, and her mom was just really transparent in this. One of the biggest things that we have with just where people don't understand, I guess, about domestic abuse is that there's a part of it that is just physically damaging, the slapping, the biting, the kicking, the stomping, the punching, whatever. There's the physical aspect of it. But more so what I think is really the most important thing to look at, it is the psychological piece to it. And it's something that it's not about the moment that it happens, it's about the conditioning that takes place to where someone is involved in that, where they stick with it, they stay through it. And she's gonna talk about that. It's like that first time you get hit, there are some people, and correct me if I'm wrong, comment if you can attest to this, there are some people that may have been in a relationship where their partner could have raised their voice or called them out their name, or did something else that was disrespectful, that was a deal breaker. Like, I'm done. Like, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. You ain't gonna get up in my face. All it takes is for you to hit me one time. You bumped my chest. You walked up to me. You flinched at me. You jumped at me, whatever. It made me flinch. I'm gone. There are a lot of people that can leave at that point. But then there is a good percentage of people who are so conditioned psychologically and emotionally and attached to that person that regardless of what they do, they gonna stay because they've been conditioned to that level of abuse or some level of abuse to where they're able. It's like a person who gets verbally abused, right? That person, and it's just like how people say marijuana is a gateway drug. It's like verbal abuse is a gateway into physical abuse, because a lot of times it starts with the words, and that's why we always talk about in Soul Nation, words matter. And it's like when you hear a certain type of abuse verbally as a child, whether it's directly or indirectly. As a kid, you could be in your bedroom listening to your mama and daddy argue, or your mama and her boyfriend argue, and hearing the way that he talks to her or the way that she talks to him. It takes an effect on you. Children are like sponges, and it's like the things that we expose those sponges to, they will absorb. They will absorb it. It's like when you hear the constant verbal abuse, it conditions you to where it becomes not only functional but normal to you. So in your environment, that's what you used to. You used to being called, you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit neither, or you a bitch, or you a hoe, or you punk ass nigga. You get used to that. And once you get used to that piece, your self-esteem takes you to a place to where that's where your value and what your worth, your appraisal of yourself, if you will give you such a low value that you will think that what comes next, getting your ass beat or getting punched or getting kicked or choked or whatever, that first time by somebody who you think you love or who loves you, or you think that's how they showing love, you begin to relate that as to say, this is normal, this is how it is. Like I always say, you get to a point to where you have so much dysfunction that it becomes functional, and you begin to truly function in the dysfunction. And as crazy as that may sound, if you're exposed to it long enough in your environment, the typical person, the greater majority of people, you will begin to function in your dysfunction because it seems so normal to you, because that's all you're surrounded by. That's what your environment is. It's just like some people who are used to yelling and screaming in a household. If all y'all did since you was born was yell and scream, and you just so used to it, you begin to think that that's normal. And anything that's not like that, you will say, that ain't how it's supposed to be. That ain't right. That ain't normal. You begin to function in that dysfunction. And it's just like how when I did the show the other day about the police, and they was arresting that dude BP, and he was on the ground, and everybody yelling and screaming and hollering. That woman was outside with a baby, a newborn, and then all the yelling and screaming, tasing, fighting, all that shit that was going on. You had about 15 people out there. That little baby was asleep in her arms, outside, knocked out. Baby was maybe 6 to 8 months old, if that. In her arms, outside, all this commotion going on, that baby sound asleep. Why? Because that baby's used to that environment. That baby's used to yelling and screaming to the point to where it's fine. That's what it's supposed to be. They get so used to that. And that's exactly what this here led into. And I don't know what her mom had went through or what led her to this, but it gets to the point to where it becomes a part of your environment to where it's functional, and that's what you seek. So you go after that nigga that look like he'll whoop a motherfucker ass. You go after that nigga that seems like he a motherfucking talk crazy to your ass and talk down to your ass. You go after that because that's what you think is normal. So you gravitate towards it more. It's just like how sometimes, even with myself, coming from the hood, shout out to the Wild Hunters, 12 dudes low down all day. But there are times and there are moments where I kind of think about and want to experience hood shit, even though I don't live in the hood no more. Because there's a certain part of me that grew up in that it's like, man, I kind of had some hood shit going on. You know, man, I want to just, ride through the hood one more time, just hang out for a minute. Because I'm so used to it for all of those years, there's a certain part of me that functions in that. And it's almost similar to like a craving, if you will, to where you have that feeling of saying, man, I remember back on the block, being in the hood, and it's a dangerous fucking place. Anything can happen at any given point in time, like any given Sunday. Motherfuckers can pop off and they can get to cracking and shit can go left quick. But you begin to think that that's the way life is, so you are okay with it, and it gets to the point to where you think, well, you know what, it ain't so bad, it ain't too bad, I can deal with it. I can function in it. My daughter, however, she wouldn't be able to deal with that. If she saw some people just fighting and shit like that all of a sudden, where me, I'm going to be like, man, I wonder what the hell happened. Or I'm going to want to watch and see. Or I'm going to want to get my gun out and get tucked ready in case the shit come left, but I'm going to watch it. My daughter would probably lose her shit. She would probably be crying and be very afraid because that's not what she's used to. That's not what she grew up around. So that's the thing about the environment and what you what you have been exposed to, it matters. And what your children are exposed to, it matters. Even when they're young. Oh, she was only 4 when that happened, when dude beat my ass, but I ain't with him no more. It still can have an effect.
He gave me a black eye once. Yeah, and I tried to hide it from mommy, but she saw it. The first time she ever met Rob,
in a ghetto. Exactly.
You need to stay away from this guy. Because I can see in his eyes something is wrong with him. Something is wrong at home.
Right.
My mother was a social worker.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I do know when enough gets to be enough.
That part.
Yep. And you got to.
Now you see, even in that dysfunction, she still had her breaking point to where enough was enough, right? And obviously she got out of it, but there's a period to where that's where you thrive at. There's a point and there's a time and there's a space to where it's all good. Just like in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? Tina Turner, when she first got beat by Ike, she didn't just up and leave. She stayed and stayed and stayed, had kids and all, had a full life with this nigga Ike. Until she got to the point to where she got tired, that's when she actually left. What makes us do that when we know what we're in is detrimental to not just our mental health, but our physical health? Because there's so many women that don't make it to that point. They don't get to their breaking point because the man will break them first. And I'm talking about those that get killed. I'm talking about those that do suffer, where it just levels up. It starts out from him calling you a bitch and him telling you that you ain't shit and you ain't nothing and don't nobody want you, and he starts smacking you and he starts choking you and he pushes you down, and then it gets to the point to where you get to fighting him, he gets to fighting you, and it gets to the point to where he actually does stab you. He actually does set you on fire. He actually does shoot you, and you don't survive. That's the thing that I have such a huge problem with that, as that's why I always say the first time somebody does that to you, it's time to go. Because that second time, it may not be intentional, and most of the time you'll hear them dudes saying, I ain't mean to kill her. I didn't want to kill her. I just lost control. When a person does something like that, they are losing control. When a person loses control, you don't want to suffer the wrath of them being out of control.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
And I actually ran for my life.
Wow. You
Yeah.
ran for your life?
Well, what happened was he was angry about something. He came home angry. You and I were at mommy and daddy's house. And he came over there and he was pissed off about something. I don't even remember what the argument was about. But he started hitting me and he was in a rage. I was backing out of daddy's den into the master bedroom, right? And you were still in the den. And I said, oh my God, we left Jada. And I knew that he wasn't gonna hurt you. He left the room to go get you, and I went through the bedroom, out the master bath, and down the steps, and ran across the street to the neighbor.
Got it.
Ran across the street to the neighbor.
Yeah.
Now, she was lucky enough to make it out from her breaking point. And that was my thing. It's like there's so many that don't get to that breaking point. She was lucky. She was at the house with her parents and still was afraid and all. And it's because of the learned behavior piece of it that I was talking about earlier, to where what would happen if my daughter was with somebody that was like that and that shit went on in my house? Don't you know that your kid is afraid of her man or is afraid of their spouse or whatever the case may be, or the person that they with? You should know that. And the fact that she told her mama told her, oh, you need to stay away from that nigga. That's the kind of thing that you see happening. And it's like, for most women, they won't intervene, which will take us back to a fatherless America. Let my daughter be with a nigga that I think may abuse her in any way. In any way. And I'm telling you just like this. This is one of the differences between mothers and fathers. This is one of the differences between men and women. And men, correct me if I'm wrong. Let a man have any type of fear in my daughter, and not only will I threaten to kill him, I will be looking forward to it. I'm going to have it on my to-do list, because I refuse to let what I created live in fear of anything. That's it. That's it, and that's all. I be damned if I let a man put my daughter in a position or in an environment to where she's afraid. Because I've spent my entire life, well, her entire life, my job has been to protect her. I be damned if I let a man put her in a position of fear. If I see that that man is not good for her and can hurt her or harm her, I'm gonna do two things, because, and this is me just being just in all reality, because everybody gonna say you can't control what your daughter do, you gotta let your kids grow. You're right, to a degree, but there has to be a line that needs to be drawn, and that's what fathers do. And I would tell them just like this: I know you ain't shit. My daughter may not have figured it out yet, but I'm gonna tell you like this: if she ever comes to my doorstep, or she ever rings my phone, if she ever calls me and tells me anything that you've done to her to hurt her, physically, verbally, whatever you, if she tell me that she's hurting and you done made her cry, know this: I'm coming, and ain't nothing gonna stop me. Plain and simple. Looking a man in the eye and looking a man in the face and telling him that point blank just point blank, hey, this is what it is. It's a whole nother world. Women can't do it. Women don't do it. They just don't. But me as a father, that's exactly what I would tell that dude. You know what? She may not get it. She may like you. She may love your dirty draws, nigga. But I know you ain't shit. And the day that it comes up that you fuck around and hurt her, know that I'm coming. And death is coming with me. That's it. That's it, and that's all. I ain't gotta go back. Oh, come on, man. Now you gonna threat. I ain't gotta go. Hey, man. She living with you, whatever the case. You come to her house. Don't come to my house. Don't darken my doorstep. Whatever. If you ever act a fool, I'm coming. And death is coming with me. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to talk about shit. I don't want it. I'm coming, and I'm putting my sights on you. That's it. That's me as a father. What her mother did was just say, he ain't no good. You need to watch it. Be careful. My daughter, I'm going to tell her the same thing. He ain't shit. I don't want him around me. Don't bring him around me. And the day he fuck up, you call me. And I'm only going to give you one time while I come save you. Because after that, done. Because you obviously like it if you stay. And the time that it's going to take for you to prepare yourself to leave, I'm not going to be in the back and forth of that. So whenever you get ready and you get tired, you call me, because you get one. You get one rescue. And I'm going to come. And hell is coming with me. But at the end of the day, you have to tell that dude what your intentions are. And it's like when you are a father, that's what you think about. I'm not going to let nobody hurt my seed like that. And it's like a lot of times a dude will be like, you know what, I don't want no smoke with this dude. I'm out. Let me go ahead and leave her alone. Because of that. And it's like those are the things that fathers do. That is just, it's not a bad thing that mothers can't do it. It's just a fact to prove that that's why you need both parents.
For them to call and get me some help. And yeah, they called the police, and I stayed over there because I knew that you were going to be okay. I knew he wasn't going to harm you.
Right.
When the police arrived, they were coming in, and that was it.
Right.
You know, and mommy was like, that's enough of that.
Yeah. Right.
We're done.
Well, kudos to her.
Yeah. We're done here.
Yeah.
And I was in full agreement. I wasn't trying to, you know, I just wasn't trying to deal with it anymore because he was just out of control.
Yeah.
His addiction he just wasn't rational. I feel like, once again, I'm trying to make excuses for him. No. And I think that's what people do. But whatever the reasons were, you have.
And I'm going to go ahead and address what you're talking about, Athena. So Athena said, you know, women can be very emotional and blow things out of proportion. Absolutely. It's absolutely true. And you can say, hey, your experience with her daughter and her husband having issues. So you have to know your kid. You know if your daughter talks shit. You know if your daughter's an antagonizer. You know if your daughter and what your daughter does. You know what she's capable of. And you do have to consider that. And the thing would be to say, well, if this relationship, if this is what y'all doing, right? Y'all arguing, y'all doing the makeup, the breakup to make up and all that shit. You have to assess the situation as parents. And you have to look and see exactly for what it is. Do I know that my daughter could be an asshole and could be talking shit to her husband or to her boyfriend, whatever the case may be, pissing him off and pushing him to that point? Absolutely. And that's when you check her. What you doing is fucked up and wrong, and I didn't raise you like that. And if he go upside your motherfucking head because you putting your hands on him, so be it. And I'm going to tell you just like that. If she hit your ass, you got every right to hit her ass back. That's how I'm going to raise mine. I'm going to raise my daughter to say, because I'm her father, don't you ever put your hands on a man. Keep your, like DJ say, keep your hands, feet, and other objects to yourself. It's that simple. And it's like, if my daughter doesn't adhere to that, whatever the fuck she does outside of that, she deserves it. And that's one of the biggest things that we have as people, as fathers, as mothers. We have to start setting guidelines and setting rules for our children and tell them, hey, you my blood, you my seed, I created you. And because of that alone, you have my love, my support, and my protection. And I'm going to always cover you until you fuck up and step outside of that covering. You break them rules and you just go all the way fucking left. Nope. My daughter motherfucking goes and lives her life like it's golden. She's an adult now and she gonna do what she gonna do and wind up on the pole, wind up stripping, making easy money, fast money, as some motherfucking nigga follow her ass home and go upside her head or whatever. I didn't raise you that way. Not wishing it on you. Not wanting it to happen to you. But my time, my energy, and my resources will not go to fund and condone and to actually be accessible to you and your debauchery. I won't do it. Everything that I've done to build and to uphold and to keep set an example and to build a life and to do all of that for you, you got access to all of that until you go outside of my teachings. Every kid make mistakes now, but I'm talking going way left. Doing shit that you know you didn't raise your kid to do. And when you do that, that's your choice because you're an adult. But you go outside of my covering. You're not under my umbrella no more. So if your ass get wet, I hope you got an umbrella. Or you better get under somebody else's. And that's one of the things that we have to do with our children. You can be under my umbrella because I got plenty of room. And you can even get to the edge sometimes. But you step outside of my guidelines and my boundaries and you cross that line, you on your own. You got to figure that shit out for yourself. You have to. So it's like you can, and I mean, you can even go to and to adults and say, well, hey, what's happening? What's going on? Well, man, your daughter, she hit me. And my first thing gonna be, did you put your hands on this man? Well, I did because he... Hey, man, you got a pass from me, brother. I raised you not to put your hands on the man. Well, he was blocking me and I couldn't leave the room. You should have called the fucking police or you should have called me. He took my phone and you should have fucking left. Figure it out. But at the end of the day, don't you go and cross that line and don't you go to a point to where you have lost control of yourself. I didn't raise you like that. That's not what you do. You stay in your lane and you know your position and you play it. Whether your team is winning or losing. That's the thing that we have to teach our children. That's the thing that we have to teach our... Sometimes it ain't going to work out in your favor. Sometimes you ain't going to get the win. But sometimes you have to win by losing. Real quick before I keep going. I was playing with my daughter. We were playing Connect 4. And I was beating her. I'm sorry, this was before Connect 4. Jenga. We were playing Jenga. And she kept losing. because she was just pulling the little Jenga blocks from anywhere. And she lost to the point where she said, I'm not playing no more. And I stopped her. She got upset, and I stopped her. I said, you have to learn how to lose so that you can learn how to win. I said, now, I will teach you. Don't pull the blocks from here. Don't pull the blocks from there. Look at where you're moving. Keep your hands off the blocks and knocking the other blocks over. Be more careful and strategic in what you're doing. And that's exactly the lesson I wanted her to learn, was strategy. And then when we play Connect 4, same exact thing. I beat her. When you playing these games with your kids, beat them. Because what that teaches them, it teaches them how to lose. And you stick with them and make them learn how to win. Winning just don't come. You gotta fucking learn how to win. And most of the time in life, you learn how to win by losing. Now, a lot of the smarter ones will learn from the mistakes of others, but you still have to be able to instill that tool into your children to where they learn how to win by losing. Why did you lose? Because you were careless, because you didn't think, because you wasn't strategic, because you didn't look at the entire picture, because you didn't get as much information as you could have. Those are things that will teach you that will show you why you lost, because you didn't practice. You didn't work hard enough. When I coached Little League Baseball for 20 years, we used to always have this plan of working the shit out of our kids in practice. Practice was hell. Why? Because I'd rather give you hell at practice than to let you embarrass yourself in a game. Practice is supposed to be tough. Practice is supposed to be hard. Practice is supposed to be challenging. It ain't about trying to make practice easy for you, because what you do in practice, you will do in a game. So yes, if a kid kept missing, we'd be like, you know what, y'all missing all these balls, y'all keep missing, y'all ain't hustling, y'all ain't following the techniques we telling you to do. Take off, start running. You'll get tired of running. Do some suicides. Do some push-ups. Miss 3 balls, 10 push-ups. And what it does, it builds their mental fortitude to take, hey, tough, hard work, tough times, frustration, it makes them better, so that when they are in that situation to where they are losing in a game, or when they in that situation where they mamas and daddies and they cousins and friends are all watching them at a game. Hey kid, you've done way more practice than this other kid has. Practice was terrible, wasn't it? Yep. You prepared for this moment. You don't know it yet, but I know it as your coach. That's what I prepared you for. And that's why we won like a motherfucker. Shout out to the White Sox. Play hard, get dirty. Shout out to Rose and Little League. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to protect yourself.
I don't think that's an excuse. Yeah. I think that's you giving a complete picture. Because I know that once he did get sober, he was really a gentle
I remember having
soul.
some experiences with him that are very good.
Yeah, but I mean, he had his problems. We all know that. He had issues, and he did not have a pleasant upbringing. But I do know that when we decided...
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay, sweetie. That's the only thing about this table being round. I can't reach you.
No, it's okay.
You know, I can't reach you.
It's okay. No, you know, it's not easy for a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to hear that your parents experienced that together.
Mm-hmm. And also for me, too, the fact that he's gone and can't share his side.
And that's the other thing. Yeah. Now that I'm older, I have so much more compassion.
Right.
Yep.
In knowing what he had gone through.
Right.
You know, because I was pretty harsh on him.
Well, I think we all were.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be.
But, you know, that's why I try to learn to have more understanding, you know.
Can we get some...
And that's the thing, too. It's like you have to look at the whole aspect of it being where it's not that the men are bad guys. You have to take it a step further. And this is one of the biggest things I talked about with the R. Kelly thing. You have to sometimes take it a step further and look at where they came from. And just like what Athena said, your husband has always been present but not participatory. And I'm quite sure that that's something he learned from his environment, from his parents, from his father, if he had one. One of the biggest things I learned about my daddy was understanding the fact that, and one of the reasons why I respect him so much, was that I realized that my daddy didn't even have a daddy. So what he did all that shit on his own. He learned how to be a daddy all by himself. And that's one of the things that I tell most people to look at when you looking at a mate, when you looking for somebody else, when you looking to be with somebody else to share your life with and all that, you want to have your life partner. Look at those things that you know that are problem areas for you and try to find that balance in somebody else. Not for them to fix you, but for them to keep you from passing down your fucked upness, if you will, to your children. So you were raised without a father. You don't need to find you another man that didn't have a father. You need to find you a man that had an incredible father, so that that person can help fill that stopgap, not for your ass, because you have to do your own work and you have to resolve your own daddy issues, but so that he can instill what was missing from your life as a father, not having a father, into your children's lives. That's how you break that cycle. You got to do your own work now. That thing that you got mommy issues, you got daddy issues, and it's men and women alike. When you are going to procreate, or don't procreate, goddammit, if you can't find that person. But when you are going to procreate, you and all your wonderfulness and all your awesomeness, you still got fucked up shit about you. You need to find those things that are damaged, that are broken, and that are missing in your life. And you need to find that in your mate. Not for your ass. I'm going to repeat it again. Not for the sake of you, but for the sake of your children. For the very sake of your children. So your kid won't grow up suffering from your deficiencies, because your mate that you chose, you know they better than you in that area. So it's just like, you know that your ass can't cook. Find you a mate that can, because that's a life skill that you want your kids to have. So that's looking at it in its simplest terms. But find you somebody that has the things you don't have, so that your child will be able to benefit from that, because you obviously didn't. It's that simple. You grew up in a family that was broken. You grew up in a family that was just full of a bunch of single parents. Then you need to not only find you a partner that didn't come from that, but you need to find you a partner that has it tenfold, the opposite. I want to come from somebody who has a very strong family lineage, very strong family history, very strong family oriented. Because I didn't have that. So that my kid will be exposed to that good part of what I missed out on. And I know that a lot of times people will be selfish. People will be jealous because they had something that you didn't. That's life. Plain and simple. I'm so glad that my daughter ain't got to grow up in the hood. Did I learn a lot from growing up in the hood? Sure did. But everybody don't make it out that motherfucking hood. And I don't want my daughter to experience that. It's that simple. So it's like where I'm living now, my daughter can go outside and play. My daughter can go outside and be safe. The last thing she got to worry about is a goddamn drive-by. A bunch of niggas running down the street with guns shooting at each other. Are there still other dangers in life? Absolutely. You got stranger danger. You got loose dogs and all kind of shit that she still got to worry about. But I'm mitigating her circumstances of danger by keeping her in a better environment. It's that simple.
I have some.
You have some?
Yeah,
Okay.
some right here. But Why do you think women stay?
I think women stay because they think that they're in love. That's what it was for me. I thought that it was love. But I also think that women are afraid. And for whatever reason, maybe they feel like they can't make it on their own without the person.
Yeah.
Not having any place to go. It's scary, and you just don't think that you can do better.
You and Karen, your sister, both were in very abusive relationships. And I just find that interesting because
we didn't see that.
You didn't see that.
We didn't see that. Mommy and Daddy weren't like that at all.
Like in your home.
Yeah. I was young, but I don't know where I got the concept in my head that to hit you was a sign of love. So if he's hitting you, then that means he loves you, because he wouldn't bother if he didn't love you. So that means he loves you.
I've never really had any personal experience in regards to like a physical abuse. I've definitely been in relationships that have been emotionally abusive. Yeah, big time.
Yep.
I think emotional violence is really prevalent because most of us, once we get into relationships, we're really trying to learn how to love. And most of us are very insecure about it. And our defense mechanisms tend to be a bit violent and harsh.
And controlling.
Yeah.
And if you're controlling somebody, you're not really loving them, because the gift of love encompasses freedom.
Yes.
And see, and this is one of the things that I was talking about earlier, is that when you're talking about the abuse, whether it's physical or emotional, whatever the case may be, it's not always something to where, hey, this person grew up in that, like I talked about earlier, but it can be a thing to where this person is exposed to that, because this other partner that you're choosing, you don't know what that person's story is. So yes, you cannot be used to a certain type of thing, and yes, you cannot have experienced that type of thing before, but the partner that you choose, what have they experienced and what they are used to can be demonstrated with you. And when y'all mesh together, there you have it. Just like she said, my parents weren't physically abusive. They didn't have that shit. I got with a guy who was physically abusive and stayed with him. Jada said, I never had the physical part, but I got with a guy that had the mental part, the emotional part. So it's not necessarily what you have done or what has happened to you. It's the person that you choose and what has actually happened to them. It's that simple. That family is cracked out of their minds. Why do you say that? It's like this, man. You have to take into account that, you know, ain't nobody's picture perfect, and the fact that is in itself just a fact. Nobody's picture is perfect, and the fact that they are willing to come forward and talk about their imperfect picture, it's not only them being transparent, but they are helping some other people whose pictures ain't perfect.
Exactly.
I just think it's so interesting because, you know, the idea is that if you grow up in an abusive home, then that's kind of what creates that cycle. And I know for me, I never witnessed any guys that you were dealing with when I was around. There was no physical.
No, because once I had that experience with Rob, I wouldn't accept it from anybody else.
So that you only had it with.
And that's what she's saying. But she was still exposed to it, which played a part in her being exposed to it.
Rob,
with
so
Rob,
that was it. Yeah, because I know for me, you remember that one incident I had with that one guy that I was dating, where I had to pull a knife out on him.
Right.
We were coming from a restaurant, and he had been drinking and he was driving, and he started getting really aggressive in the car. And this is why I always tell you, pay attention to your surroundings just in case you got to make a quick exit. And thank goodness I knew where I was, and I knew how to get out the car and get to the house And I ran to the house. I had to take my clothes off, take off my heels, and I always travel with a black Russell hoodie and black Russell sweats. Just in case something's First of all, it's my favorite outfit. Just in case something's popping off. And I remember jumping in that sweatsuit, grabbing a big old knife from the kitchen and hiding in his son's room. And I never forget, he came through the back sliding door like on a creep, like he was gonna like sneak up on me or something like that. And I heard him, and I came out of his son's bedroom, and I was at the bottom of the hallway, and I was like, don't come near me. And he said the quintessential line that you hear in movies all the time. You think I would hurt you?
Yeah. I would never do that to you.
I would never do that to you. And I mean, I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble.
That's really scary.
I was in trouble. And you know what? Spike Lee saved me from that one.
Wow.
Because Spike had been calling me about Girl 6. I used Spike as an excuse to get on that plane. And then he said right then and there, I'll never see you again, will I? I was like, absolutely. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna work this out. You know, I got on that plane and he never saw me again until I was with Will Smith. That's when I saw him. We were at a wedding and he was at the same resort and I happened to be.
Boom. I don't know who the hell that is, but there you go right there. She wasn't with that physical shit, and the minute that she saw that she was going to be exposed to it, she was out. Good for you. I want to fast forward to this part where they bring out this other lady here.
And I knew right then it was something that she didn't really want to your eye.
Right.
And she didn't say right away. You see, she was my hairstylist. And I went into the salon one day and her eye, it was messed up. And I was like, what the hell happened to your eye?
Right.
And she didn't say right away. You see, she was like, oh.
Right.
And I knew right then it was something that she didn't really want to talk about.
Right.
Yep.
I was just like, oh my God, like I can't lie.
Right.
And it's like lying to my mom.
Right.
I just love this man so much.
Yeah.
And I had to leave the situation. It was toxic. We were just back and forth. It was so much cheating and lying. And I knew I had to, get away. And so I left him. And he called me and he said, I need to see you. I need to see you. It's always the same story. I need to see you. And I'm like, I don't want to talk.
Oh, man. I got time. Why not? So low-key says, oh, man, Will stay wearing dresses. Jada is insecure as fuck. Jaden dresses like a girl. And Willow acts like a boy. That's chaos. LeVar Ball has more structure over his family and y'all hate him. First of all, what difference does it make if Will wear dresses or not? That has no bearing on what we talking about right now. So if Will does, and I ain't seen Will in a dress, and if he stay wearing dresses, that's his motherfucking business. The second part to that, Jada is insecure as fuck. Who's not insecure at some point or another? It's plenty of people that's insecure. The next part, Jaden dresses like a girl. Again, what does that have to do with what we talking about now? We're talking about domestic abuse. And we're talking about her experience in domestic abuse. And then you says, and Willow acts like a boy. What is so abnormal about that compared to the rest of America and the rest of the motherfuckers that's in the hood, where you got these girls acting like dudes and dudes acting like girls? If you really want to be factual about it, they are a reflection of the American family now, shit. Even in the hood. And you say that's chaos. How is that chaos? And you talking about LeVar Ball has more structure over his family and we hate him. Who's ever said that we hate LeVar Ball? I haven't. But LeVar Ball ain't no better than anybody else's family. Hell, what are you talking about? That's just like saying LeVar Ball just fucked off some of his son's money. Where's the commentary on that? Seems pretty chaotic to me. When you got so much shit going on, you ain't watching your own son's money, and the people you bringing in are fucking over your own kid, and you just shrugging it off saying, oh, that's business. LeVar Ball don't do nothing but talk a bunch of cash shit. He's a hustler. And I ain't mad at him. He doing his thing. But if you gonna talk about him, ain't nobody hating on him. But if you really gonna talk about the facts, let's talk about how shitty of a businessman he is and how he's fucking up his son's career because he's a meddling fucking dad. He's worse than these fucking pageant moms. And ain't nobody saying that, but I don't hate him. I just look at it as though, hey, he's a fucking father who's trying to do the best he knows how to with what he has for his kids. I get it. Could he be making a bunch of mistakes? Absolutely can be. He could be fucking up his kids' lives just like you saying Will and Jada fucking up their kids' lives. So what's the difference? And what business is it of ours? The way LeVar Ball runs his house has nothing to do with me. The way Will Smith runs his house has nothing to do with me. However, the content in which they present that I choose to critique absolutely has a lot to do and everything to do with me and my critique of it. And what these women are talking about right now, it don't matter if they wear dresses, it don't matter if they act like boys, it don't matter. What they talking about is some real shit that a lot of people suffer from and a lot of people have problems with and struggle with. And I want to use that as an opportunity for me to hopefully help somebody become a better version of themselves, which is what you should be doing, as opposed to just saying they cracked out, they this, they got chaos, but LeVar Ball got more structure over his family and y'all hate him. LeVar Ball ain't got structure over shit. LeVar Ball is just trying to be what he hoped. He trying to make his sons what he wished he would have been. LeVar Ball say stupid shit. LeVar Ball do dumb shit just like anybody else. He ain't no better than Will or Jada. And don't nobody hate him. I know I don't. So it is what it is. Let people be who they need to be. Take the good from them, and the shit that you don't like, just let it be that and move on. If you got something to say about them, say it. Let it be factual, but you don't have to say that what a person wears or how a person dresses or a person's own insecurities or whatever they may have makes them less than. A lot of chaos leads to violence. So you telling me that Will and Jada kids have more of a tendency to be violent because you saying they got chaos than LeVar Ball kids? Whose kid was caught stealing in fucking China? I'm just saying. You talking about LeVar Ball and how much more structure he has over his family, but his kid was the one in a fucking international event to where the president had to intervene to help his motherfucking kid. I'm just saying. Can you say that Will and Jada got some parenting perspective that you don't agree with? Absolutely. Would I do all of the things that they've done with their kids? Probably not. But yet and still, how many kids do you know that grow up Hollywood first generation and just stable motherfucking upstanding citizens of Hollywood and the community? Very few. Hollywood is a sick fucking place, man. Hollywood got a lot of fucked up shit going on with it, and the fact that they in it and they're trying to do the best they can, I ain't mad at them for that. I ain't going hard on you, bro. I'm just kicking the facts. That's all. It's all good. Yeah, I ain't going hard on you, man. It's all good.
We can't talk. He ended up meeting up with me.
Just listen to
got
my
in the
shit.
car, kind of like forced itself. And he was just like, I told you that you cannot be without me or you can't be with anybody. And I'm like, listen, I'm done. I can't. And then all of a sudden he just like slams me towards the back of the car and he just like punches me. All of a sudden I just felt all of this blood coming down my face and I'm just like, please stop, like please stop. And I ended up going to the emergency room. I had to get stitches. And I remember looking at my daughter. She was like, is this what you want me to do? when I get older, and I'm just like, oh my God, no. And she's like, well, when are you going to stop? Because I'm going to do the same thing.
So, and here's the thing that I got from her telling her story. This is what this was a milestone in that, because I'm quite sure that the situation that she was in, there was a really nice prelude leading up to all of this, to where she did get stitches. I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of violent conversation. There was a lot of probably choking here and all of that there. I'm quite sure that there was a lot more that led up to this than it just being something to where, hey, this person just all of a sudden just did this to me clear out of the blue, and I was just so shocked. And it was like, no, the shit leads up to it. You always get those indicators and those notifications and those red flags. They continue to pop up throughout the relationship, but you just tend to overlook them because of your own insecurities and because of your own emotional attachment to the person. The way this person makes me feel when he not an asshole. The way this person feels when we are having sex. The dick is good. Whatever the case may be. The money that he got. The resources he have. I like having being connected to his resources. His status. Who he is. Those things will make a lot of people trade in their, not only their moral values and let their moral compass go and guide them down a road they don't really want to be down, but it'll also allow them to sacrifice who they are as a person, physically and mentally. Yes, and they will even psych themselves out to think, I can just change him and he won't do it if I love him enough, if I love him better, if I don't fuck up, if I don't mess up. They can do that. They think that.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I just was like, I'm going to stop, I promise. And it was just so hard because I just felt like he loved me and I loved him. And he kept saying he loved me. First, he was charming. You know, he was caring. He would just break his neck for me. And then the tables just kind of turned.
Yeah. How long were you in the relationship for?
It was on and off for maybe 5 years.
I can only imagine.
So this wasn't no one-time thing. This was over 5 years.
What it feels like to love somebody fiercely and then have them punch you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And have them hit you. I haven't experienced it, but just me, I can feel you.
Yeah. My mom went through it when I was a little girl. She would wear so much makeup to like hide the scars.
And there it is. So you got both sides of the spectrum here. You got a person who wasn't exposed to it that got introduced to it, and then you have a person who was born and raised in it. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. That's exactly, she said, I remember my mama covering up with the makeup. I remember my mama doing this. So when she first got with dude, before he started that first time beating her, the prelude up to that, the arguing, the talking shit and all of that stuff, the way that it all led up to that.
So I felt like because my mom kept taking my dad back that, you know, he loved her, I should do the same thing. And I just kept doing it and kept
So had this happened more than once with you?
Yes. From day one, you know, the first time when I decided to leave him in the beginning, we got into a big fight. We were just tussling back and forth, and we broke up. And he was upset about that. So he decided to get me back. He released a naked picture of me.
Wow.
Everyone saw the picture, even my daughter's friends.
Oh, my
family,
goodness.
Everybody saw the photo. And I was just like, how could you do something like this to me?
So that's part of that control.
Control.
Yeah.
Very controlling. He felt like in order to keep me, he would threaten to hurt me. He felt like if anyone saw these pictures of me, they wouldn't want to be with me. You know, he would always say, nobody's going to be with you because of me. Like, you're always going to be with me. And I'm like, no, I'm going to leave.
In all honesty, what gave you the strength this time?
So it's like when you think about what she said, like, man, this dude he actually released a picture of me, some naked photos of me or risque photos, whatever you want to call it. He got something on me and he put it out in the world. At the end of the day, you have to realize that what you going through and what somebody may hold over you, at some point you can either let that thing that they holding over you destroy you and hold you captive, or you can just say, you know what, I'm not gonna give you that much power over me. Do your worst. Do your worst. I'm out. And what it is just what it's gonna be. And I'll get through that, because you can work through that as opposed to letting somebody keep you in bondage, keep you chained down, keep you to a point to where you can't be who you really want to be. You can't live your life the way you want to live it because of what somebody's holding over you. Don't give nobody else that power. Don't give somebody that power over you, because when you do, they will use it to beat you down and to keep you down, just like he was willing to do, until she just said, fuck it, I'm out anyway. Which basically took her power back. She took her control back. Don't let somebody hold that over you, whether it's money, whether it's power, whether it's fame, whatever the case may be. So many people sacrifice, especially women, sacrifice who they are as a person, and they will do fucked up shit. They will let fucked up shit be done to them, and they will let themselves be mistreated, be dogged out, whatever the case may be, because they don't want to go through that pain of just saying, I'm about to be embarrassed. I'm about to lose access. I'm about to lose this resource. No more red bottoms. No more Gucci bag. No more Porsche Panamera. Was that a Ferrari? No, it's a Porsche Panamera. Sometimes you have to say, I'm worth more than that. And if I got to lose it so that I can truly live a life that I'm okay with and that I'm happy with, so be it. And don't make the excuse of, I'ma stay for my kids, because your kids will then do the exact same thing they see you doing, just like she was talking about. Mommy, this is what you want me to do? Then why you doing it? And if a lot of women looked at their situation and said that, a lot of women would be in a lot better place. A lot better places. What I'm allowing this dude to do to me, what I'm allowing this dude to say to me, the way I'm allowing this dude to treat me, is that what I want for my children? And if you say no, then you need to go. That rhymes. I should be a rapper.
To leave, I was in just the darkest space. I felt myself at times wanting to like kill myself. Like, I don't want to live. I'm tired. I'm depressed. I'm stressed. My mom is very ill. And I'm sorry, I just said I wasn't going to cry.
It's all right. We got tissue right here.
I just always went to my mom for everything. There were times where I couldn't go to her because I was so scared. She always told me to leave, and I always stayed because I'm like, he loves me. He was calling me, and he was like, I need to talk to you. And we had already broken up. And he was like, okay, if you don't want to be with me anymore, I'm going to put this on the internet. It was another naked picture of me. And I was just like, you're going to do that to me again? I was just like, oh.
You see one of the things that you may not have caught that she didn't say? She said, I didn't want to tell my mama because I was so scared. She didn't say shit about her daddy though, did she? And I guarantee you she ain't have one. Because that's the thing, that when girls, little girls, women, when they get scared, when they get to a position where they're in fear of their life or they're in fear of whatever, the hero, the one who comes to the rescue, the one who saves them, the one that gives them the strength to carry on, the one who gives them that it's gonna be okay because I got you, especially when it comes to dealing with another man. It's their daddy. It's their daddy. My daughter gonna know, no matter what happened, I could be scared, a motherfucker could be threatening me. All I got to do is get to my daddy. If I tell my daddy, I'm gonna be safe. My daddy is coming. My daddy ain't gonna let this happen. And it's so many kids that don't have that option. It's so many kids that don't have that that ability to be able to say, let me call my daddy. And it may not just be a situation where they need to be saved. It can simply be a situation where they need advice. It can be a situation where they just need somebody to listen, or they just need some help. But when the shit hits the fan and your back is against the wall, that person that women be wanting to call out for is their daddy. This nigga threatening to release a picture of me on the internet. I tell you what, nigga, it be the last picture your ass upload. Go ahead and do it. That's what a daddy do. Nigga, I guarantee you, upload that shit if you want to, homie. It's the last one you'll upload. You better upload your obituary right behind it. Because that's what a daddy is willing to do. I think it was my man, damn, who told me that? I can't remember who told me that, but he said, who the hell told me that? He said, but anyway, he said that men kill for their daughters and kill with their sons. True shit. True shit. A man, I will kill for my daughter, and I will go kill with my son. Absolutely. Absolutely. True shit.
Oh my God. So I just said, you know what, I can't take it. I said, I'm going to put myself out there at this point. And that's when I went in my phone and I posted the picture of my black eye. And the picture that everyone saw, I didn't think it was going to get all of the responses. That it was like women reaching out. They were just like, I've been through the same thing. I'm sorry you went through this. What really touched me the most was my daughter had called me and she said, Ma, take it down. I said, no. She said, take it down because you're going to embarrass me and you're going to embarrass yourself because you're going to take him back. And I was like, I promise you I won't take him back at this point. And
that's where you got to get to. You got to get to the point to where you saying, I'm done and I'm not going to let this shit happen to me because look at what my daughter's seeing. She like, you ain't going to do shit but go back. 5 years, great assumption, daughter. 5 years of this shit? Yep. That's exactly what I would have thought. 5 years of going back and forth and him doing this, slapping your head, doing this there.
Doing physical abuse, all of it is just scary. It's and the mental part is probably the hardest because you hold it in inside. You get into that deep space and it's like you want to release it, but it's hard because people will judge you and call you crazy, but you're not crazy. It's hard to deal with. It's really hard. And it just helped me so much when I just released that. And that was finally the first time where he actually said, I'm really going to leave you alone. Because he was embarrassed.
So let me just, I want to be clear about something because you just made a powerful, powerful, powerful point. Is that when you had the courage to come out and tell your story, other women rallied around you and gave you the strength to keep going.
Yes, they did.
That's powerful.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That just goes to show you what sister love will do.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know about all that, but be in a position and always be willing to just tell the story. Tell the story. And don't tell the story 20 years later. Don't tell the story 10 years later. Don't tell the story 2 years later. Tell the story when the story happens. Because what you will do is you will not only help somebody, but you will also help yourself and save yourself from a lot of pain, a lot of anguish, a lot of torment, and a lot of abuse. Tell the story when it happens. Because that story she waited to tell for 5 years. Not only did she suffer, but her daughter suffered because of it. And yeah, you get your, you girl power for telling right now, but we got to get to a point to where we tell our story when it happens. Don't wait. Just like when a woman gets raped, don't wait 10 years later. Don't wait 10 weeks later. Tell your story as soon as the story can be told. Because it shouldn't matter that a bunch of sisters rallied around. I see what you talking about, David. It shouldn't matter that a lot of people gonna rally around you. It shouldn't matter that a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, we gonna come to your sisters unite, black girl magic." That don't matter. The thing that matters most is that you telling your story is going to free you and those that are coming after you. Because at the end of the day, the person who's suffering in this, it ain't just her. It's her daughter. It's her daughter. And it's like that shame that, and I get you, the shame that you feel, that shame that you feel, you going to feel it no matter what. You're going to feel the shame. The shame is inevitable. And a lot of people don't get that part. Understand that the shame is inevitable. The pain is inevitable. There has to be the pain of going. That's one of the things I did when you talking about going through things as opposed to getting over things. So I always tell people, I'll just get over it. I never tell people to get over stuff. I tell people to go through stuff, deal with it, go through it. Because when you have that point of saying, well, this happened, hurt my feelings, I'm ashamed of it, I'm traumatized by it, all of that, you have to process that. What we tend to do is we compartmentalize it. We box it up. We carry it. We put it in a bag, shoulder it up, hold it in our hands, put it in our shirt pocket, keep it on our shoulder. We need to stop doing that. Once you have an issue, you have a problem, you have an experience, process it. Go through it. Be angry, be ashamed, be hurt, be devastated, be sad, be depressed. Go through those emotions because you're doing just that. Going through. When you go through something, you make a hole, you make a tunnel to where you can get to the other side now. So if it happens not only again to you, but those that come after you, you can guide them out. And they don't have to turmoil and struggle inside of it. Go through that thing as opposed to trying to get over that thing or go around that thing. Go through it. The quickest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Plain and simple. So those mountains that you have in your life, no matter how hard they are, damn climbing them. Go through them. Tunnel through that shit. Yes, it's difficult, but once you build that tunnel through there, not only are you going to build a path for yourself and blaze a trail for yourself, but others that come after you, that come behind you, they now have a path that they don't have to try to worry about getting around because they can just, oh, there's the tunnel that my daddy built. Oh, there's the tunnel that my mama built. I can just follow her or his path and go right through it. So it's like we have this thing to where we spend so much time trying not to experience something that we experience everything else and wind up having to experience it anyway. Oh, I don't want to think about that. It's just so traumatizing. It's so hurtful. It's so terrible. Oh, I don't want to bother. I can't deal with that. But the effect of you not dealing with it has so many other, it has a domino effect on so many other aspects of your life that you become a dysfunctional person. When you look at so many of us are people that have just anger problems, have issues, have so many depression, problems with low self-esteem. All of that stuff comes from them not dealing with that issue that happened back, when they was 5. Not going to counseling. I saw my daddy get shot in the face. You did? And you never got counseled for it? Nah, I just keep to myself, Joe. Motherfucker, you suffering from PTSD. There's people that go over in fucking Iraq and come back and get help for the shit they seen over there. You see your daddy get shot down in the streets. And you don't think you need counseling? Your parents didn't think, your mother didn't think you need counseling? Your grandmother didn't think you needed counseling? What do? We just gonna pray our way through it. Thank you, Jesus. God wouldn't have made psychiatrists and made counseling if he didn't think we needed it. So stop trying to leave everything up to the Lord. Stop trying to leave everything up to, oh, well, they'll get through it. stop leaving everything up to where I get on my knees and I just pray for it. I just pray for healing. Use the resources and the tools that God gave you. Like mental health. Like going to see a psychiatrist. Like going to see a counselor. Use those resources that God provided for you to help you in your journey, as opposed to you just trying to pray your way out of it. That's slave mentality. That's slave thinking. Master, keep whipping my ass. I'm just going to pray to God that one day he stop. Till your back break and they throw your ass down a hole, just like you and LaQuint Dickey. Go through that thing that is the thing that troubles you. Because you have to. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it damn sure ain't going to be easy, but you have to go through it so that you can actually get past it. It's the only way.
You have no idea how much they have helped me. And I always would say, like,
don't come up on the rough side of the mountain. Go through the motherfucker. Somebody needs to sing that song.
I have to get my power back, not just for myself, but for all the other women.
And it seems like your daughter has been a strong power flow for you, too.
Yes.
Your 14-year-old daughter,
yes,
Selena, who's beautiful and wonderful. She and Willow got to sit down and have a conversation.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here, too.
This is my dad. This is Selena.
Hi.
You're welcome.
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. Nice to meet you. It's so nice to have you. Yeah.
motherfuckers look just alike. Boy, I swear for God.
It doesn't look too big right now to jump in. But
Oh,
I definitely
man.
used to jump in. I can't even imagine how it must feel to see your mother, go.
So this girl is 14, and this has happened over 5 years. So she had been watching that shit since she was what? 8 or 9 years old. Fully capable of processing and remembering all that shit. Fully capable. Experiencing it just as her mother did, if not more so, and having to deal with the emotional trauma of seeing your mother abused like she was. Now imagine what she is going to be like when she becomes an adult. Imagine the things that she's suffering from right now as an adult. When she becomes an adult. And right now, for that matter. I hope that she's in counseling.
Go through the experiences that she's been through.
Yes, it was very stressful because me and my mom didn't have a relationship through all the things, because it was like she was putting him first, or like I was getting pushed back.
Yeah.
She absolutely
or she
was.
wouldn't listen to me. I was like a ghost.
Do you think you were afraid of him?
I was always cautious when he came over because I didn't want anything to happen.
Yeah.
But there was some times where I was just like, I just stayed in my room and cried.
Do you have any advice for any kids going through what you went through?
So I just recommend, like, always be there for your mom, and always make sure you put her first, no matter what she made you go through, whatever has happened with your relationship. Always remember that is your mom.
Now that's where some dysfunction lives right there. Always put your mom first. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because your mama is not... The reason why I'm going to say you don't put your mama first is because your mama clearly ain't putting you first. Your mama is clearly putting you in a situation to where you're being... Not only are you being abused just like she is, if not more so, because you're not an adult and you don't even have a say in what happens to you. This is the problem when you put your mama first, because she stuck through her mama through all this shit, and she doesn't even realize the suffering that she's endured and the psychological effects it's going to have on her because she's so busy being worried about her mama. So no, to that young person that may be watching this, don't you put your mama first. You put your mental health and your safety and your security first. Because at the end of the day, if your mama ain't thinking about you, you damn sure need to be. And that's a tough drink for a kid to have to swallow, but it's the truth. Don't put yourself in a situation where you putting your mama first and you sacrificing your own safety, your own mental health because your mama making fucked up decisions for whatever reason.
And you know, it's been a long journey, and I'm just glad that she's finally done with it. Like, it's over.
That's beautiful.
Waiting on your mama to grow up.
How you doing, mama?
I think I'm gonna stop with that, and I'm gonna move on into this next piece, because I think that we hit a lot of the good points that I wanted to cover in this part of just talking about the domestic abuse. And one of the biggest things that I thought about in doing this video was just saying how important it was to bring that to light. But there is also another part to this that I think is extremely important, and it's important to the fact of where one of the things we don't really realize and we don't look at is something that I want to shed a light on here. And this is the part where I talked about in the title about the untold story. So I want you to watch this, and then we'll go from there. So this is a place like a park that has 3 hidden cameras, and this is in London, England.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I'll try and see you on Thursday, and then get the...
What do I do? What?
Just keep doing it. Very annoying.
What?
Too fucking tough. Come here.
Get your hand off me.
Come here.
What?
Where were you?
I'm not talking to you about this. I'm not talking to you about this. Get your hand off me.
Who was there?
Get your hand off me.
Who was there? Tell me who was there.
People are looking at us. People are looking at us. Will you get your hand off me? Stop it. People are looking at us. What's wrong with you?
Honestly, we're fine.
I'm grand, thanks. Okay, because someone will call the police if you carry on doing that to someone.
Okay.
Because if I don't, someone else will.
Okay.
Let's go back. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people intervene right there.
Okay, it's perfectly fine.
You don't have to put up with that, honey. Okay, thank you.
My office is there. You're definitely right.
Yeah, I am. I'm grand, thanks.
See how many people intervened? See how many people got involved?
What do I do?
So you had 8 people intervene with a single altercation with a man and a woman at a park. They saw something, they said something. Shout out to them. Salute to them. Because that's how it should be. You see something, say something. You see something's wrong, you step in and you bring about some type of awareness and make a change. You do something. You ain't got to be the hero to step in, but call the police. You do something when you see something going wrong.
Do you ever listen to me?
Stop. You're crazy, man.
Manic. I've been talking at you for the last 10 minutes and you haven't listened. You haven't gotten into fucking what I've been saying to you. Then you're fucking not even listening to me. That's what. Why do I push you like that? Because you won't fucking respond to me about any. You won't listen to me. You think you're fucking all manly?
I wasn't.
No, you can't be. No, you can't be. Don't try and fucking walk away. Stop. Listen to me when I'm talking. Don't try and fucking walk away from me. Stop it. What the fucking bullshit? What the fucking bullshit?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck's wrong with me? There's nothing. Don't give me that shit, okay? Pathetic. You're so fucking pathetic.
Now, this brings me to the untold story part. You saw all of those people, same park, same 3 cameras, same 2 people. They laughed. They all watched. They all gawked at what was going on, and nobody did a damn thing. And that goes to the point that Tommy's always talking about. They don't give a shit about men. This dude was getting abused just like a woman was, and nobody did nothing. And for those of you that watch this and say, oh man, that shit don't happen like that, man. Men and women, it's different. Facts don't lie. In 2017, the Men's Advice Helpline, which supports male victims of domestic abuse and is funded by Home Office, received 13,237 phone calls. Fact. 40% of domestic abuse, males. Okay? Let's look at this.
You said when you came out, which I thought was quite interesting, you said, I don't really like to admit this, she was violent, we both made mistakes, but she was very controlling. And I felt like she called the shots in this relationship.
Well, she locked me in the flat one day.
She locked you in the flat?
Yeah, she locked me in the flat. Obviously, me being angry, I didn't know the door was locked. I've gone over, I've grabbed the door handle, pulled it, and it's come straight off in my hands. So we're stuck on a three-storey flat, and I've had to jump off a three-storey balcony. I ripped all my back, all my legs, the lot, and I ended.
Now this is a dude telling the story of what happened to him when he was being abused. Watch.
You said when you came out, which I thought was quite interesting, you said, I don't really like to admit this, she was violent, we both made mistakes, but she was very controlling. And I felt like she called the shots in this relationship.
Well, she locked me in the flat one day.
She locked you in the flat?
Well, people, for those of you who may not know, when they say a bloke, that means a dude, and when they say a flat, that means the house or the apartment that they live in. It's pretty much your house, your crib, whatever you want to call it. So this dude is from England as well.
Locked me in the flat. Obviously, me being angry, I didn't know the door was locked. I've gone over, I've grabbed the door handle, pulled it, and it's come straight off in my hands. So we're stuck on a three-storey flat, and I've had to jump off a three-storey balcony. I ripped all my back, all my legs, the lot, and I ended up in hospital, you know, because she won't let me out of the house.
It's not funny though. Can I tell you why it's not funny? And I don't want to upset any of the audience because I completely appreciate the fact that you're here, but I'll tell you why I don't think you should laugh.
And this audience is full of women.
If this was the other way around and a woman was sat here and a bloke had locked her in a flat and she had to jump out and injured herself, you lot would not be laughing. You would be saying, he's a complete nightmare, he should be locked up and that's disgraceful. But somehow, if it happens to a bloke, that's funny. That's not funny, is it? That isn't.
Now that he made them all feel like shit. Salute to you, man. He made them all feel like shit. And he's 1000% correct. If a bunch of women was sitting in that audience and that dude was a woman and she was telling the story about how her man locked her in her apartment and she got out by hanging off the balcony and jumping 3 stories down and broke her leg or hurt her leg to where she had to go to the hospital, would nobody in that goddamn place be laughing? Everybody would be crying. You would hear nothing but a bunch of, oh. Everybody would be shocked. They would have the big eyes, hands over their mouths like, no. And the dude that was responsible for it would be the worst piece of shit to ever exist in all of mankind. He would be the most terrible person ever. But yet and still, when it happens to women, I mean, when a woman is doing it and it's happening to a man, what do? We laugh. We laugh. And if he decides to go and whoop the shit out of her and beat the cowboy shit out of her or give her an uppercut like we talked about in the other show, he's wrong. That in itself is female supremacy. You are not better than me, and I think that I'm so better than you that even when I do wrong, I'm right.
You told my team she would give you black eyes.
Yeah, well, I went to the black eye, fat lip and everything, you know, hitting me. She used to say I was bad because I was the one who turned around and yeah, I did put my hands through doors and punch walls and stuff.
What a great environment in which to bring 2 children up.
I'd rather do that than hit her.
Boom. And that goes back to the relationship. That goes back to the relationship. That's what you do. That's the shit y'all go through. That's the shit, that's the way y'all behave. But yet and still, the fact that he's being the one that's being abused, nothing. It's all laughter. It's all fun and games. Having a good time.
It started out with things being thrown at me, and then that progressed to actual punching and hitting, physically hitting, and then ultimately progressed to other weapons being brandished.
It's a type of domestic abuse we never talk about. Some might even laugh at, though. For Michael Healy, 5 years in a relationship with...
Brandish, for those of you who don't know, means to be shown, to be presented. brandishing weapons. That means showing a motherfucker a knife. That means, hey, right now, I'm brandishing a weapon. I ain't got to point it at you. I can just have it out. I'm brandishing a weapon. I'm sitting here like this. I'm brandishing a weapon. That's what that means.
Which was both mentally and physically abusive at the hands of his partner. A woman left him fearing for his life with little to no options for actual support. Some people at home might say, you know, take a look at Michael. He's a big burly guy. You can take care of yourself. What's the matter here?
Yeah, no, I get that actually a lot, and it's just my nature. I'm not the type of person that would, hit another person and even defend myself. It was like the darkest time of my life. It was.
Now that's one of the biggest things that we just can't even begin to understand or accept this concept. Maybe, just maybe. Because everybody will say, oh man, you a dude. Oh man, you weak ass nigga, man. You can't take care of yourself. Oh, you ain't no real man if you scared of a woman. Maybe this dude just don't have that in him. There are just some people that are not aggressive males. There are just some people that are not violent people. People always tend to look at that and say, oh yeah, you can do this to a person, you can do that to a person, they ain't gonna do this. Like people talk about white folks. You can slap shit out of a white person, they ain't gonna do shit. Well, maybe they're just not a naturally violent group of people. Or maybe just some of them aren't violent. But yet still, there's some that are. Maybe this guy here, he's just not a violent guy. So he doesn't function well in violence. Yes, he's a meek people.
I got to a place where I literally did not know what to do next.
When Michael finally found the strength to end the toxic violent situation, he says he reached out for support, but found most shelters don't take men, and none had.
Wow, fancy that. You ever heard of a battered male shelter? I've heard of a woman shelter. Never heard of a battered man shelter. Ever. And this is in Canada, I believe. They got a couple of them over in the UK, but never heard of that. Which was quite shocking to me. It definitely provoked my thought on this and provoked me to do what it is that I'm doing now.
Resources available to support men trying to leave and heal from an abusive domestic situation. Over a 5-year period, a 2014 StatsCan report found that equal proportions of men and women reported being victims of spousal violence across the country.
Single men can go to a homeless shelter, but of course they don't get the support that they would were they women going to a violence against women shelter. Those violence against women shelters are critically important for women in abuse situations. Yep. They get safe space, they also have legal services, they have trauma counseling, they have emergency support. By contrast, men get none of those things if they go to a homeless shelter.
Justin Trotch.
Boom. So a man can only go to a homeless shelter. There is no battered men shelter. However, you have something like Black Lives Matter. Let's take them for instance. Black Lives Matter talks about and speaks out about police brutality, right? They will hold rallies, hold marches, and all of that. They are funded and have an organization that's been around for what, about 5-6 years now, whatever the case may be. You do realize that it's like less than 1% or less than 2% of black crimes are done by police officers, where you have 40% or over 40% of men are in abusive relationships. No funding, no group, no rallies, no marches, no parades. No marches. Nothing to bring the attention about, nothing to get funding for, nothing to rally around with, nothing to assist or aid men that are in actual physical abusive relationships, and there's no shelter for them, there is no resource for them, there is no help for them except for a phone number on a hotline and a homeless shelter.
With the Canadian Centre for Men and Families says this isn't about men versus women. More resources are needed for all genders fleeing traumatic relationships. His hope is to close the resource gap for men and men with children by raising funds to open a first-of-its-kind shelter in a major North American city by mid-2018.
These big centers, population centers, where there are thousands and thousands of men and women who are dealing with domestic violence. There's not a single family shelter for abused men and their children in any of these major population centers. Toronto could be the first, and of course the hope is that others would follow that lead.
The response some men get when trying to explain their situation, according to Michael, can be a degrading, difficult experience.
Responses that I would say were almost on the verge of hostile and just basically telling me I was the perpetrator and that I needed to get some anger management courses. They referred me to anger management is what they did. But men hear those stories and begin to fear that that's what will happen.
So far, they've raised $170,000. There's also a GoFundMe campaign, and for every dollar put into that, one of the private donors will be matching dollar for dollar. And once they reach their goal of $300,000, the center will be going to the province, hoping that they too will match some of the funds. I'm Adrian Gabriel for City News.
Wow. You gotta GoFundMe. You gotta get a GoFundMe for that one. No Me Too movement. No battered women movement. No battered men movement. No what about us movement. And this is something that is affecting another gender of people the exact same. So you think about all of the funding that you get for, and all of the attention and notoriety you would get when there's a woman being abused, when there's a gay or lesbian or LGBTQ community member being abused. What about men? Nothing. Children. They all got something except for men. And what do we do when it comes up? We laugh. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I brought light to this and talked about this story, because I saw this myself and was like, wow. And for those of you that think that this is some bullshit and that, oh man, it ain't really like that, man, that shit don't be happening, man. Well, take a look at this.
Trying to stop me? Hey, you're trying to stop me? You're on camera trying to stop me? Look, Wes, go on camera, I've got it. I've done nothing wrong. You tried to slice of this, and now you're trying to stab me with a pair of scissors. Go ahead, do it, go on. Go on, nice. Trying to stab me, yeah? Why? Because I want to leave you. Hey, because I want to leave you. You messed with me, because I want to leave you. Hey, look here, while the baby's there.
Daughter, or little kid right there, look like a little girl, right there. She got scissors, literally stabbing at him. Thank God he had on a thick leather coat, or whatever that coat was made of. It looked thick enough to where he was able to deflect it, and she couldn't deliver a lethal blow. But I'm sure he had some type of mark or something on him. Let's watch it again.
Trying to stop me? Hey, you're trying to stop me? You're on camera trying to stop me? Look, Wes, go on camera, I've got it. I've done nothing wrong. You tried to slice of this, and now you're trying to stab me with a pair of scissors. Go ahead, do it, go on, nice.
Right in front of your kid.
Trying to stab me, yeah? Why? Because I want to leave you. Hey, because I want to leave you. You messed with me, because I want to leave you. Hey, look here, while the baby's there.
Right.
While the baby's there.
Exactly. That's what you see. So you talk about the fact that, hey, you know, it's so we have to do something. We have to stand up for our women. We have to make sure that, you know, time's up for all of these women that's out here and all these men that have been abusing these women for all these years. Time's up. It's over. We not standing for it no more. This ain't happening. I get it. I understand. Hey, you got a point. You right. But this is the thing that we see now and we just totally overlook. Or what? And I'm going to tell you right now, because I even said this the first time I saw it. I was shocked, but there was a voice in. Tell me if I'm lying, if some of you guys didn't think that. Or some of you women didn't think, well, it's a woman though. She's smaller. She weaker. Yeah, she weak until she put that motherfucking point of that scissor in your temple. Yeah, she weak until that scissor hit your carotid artery. Yeah, she weak until she decides to pull out a gun and shoot your ass. Yeah, she weak until she make a mistake and hit her baby. Yeah, she weak then. And it just goes to show you how we've been conditioned as a society, how we've been programmed as a society to where we truly and honestly just don't give a shit about what happens to dudes. We will make excuses. Just like how they used to talk about years ago back in the 80s, a woman get raped. What's the first thing we say? What'd you do to get raped? You was dressed provocatively. What did you have on? Why was you here? What was you doing? That's what we do right now for men. Well, damn, the dude that was in the park when they was reenacting, everybody was laughing. They were laughing at them, at the dude. They was watching that dude get his ass beat and was laughing at it because they didn't give a shit. Because they were just mentally just conditioned to say, oh, well, shit, it's a dude, man. He can take it. He can take it. Oh, man, it ain't no big deal. Oh, he all right. That shit didn't hurt. Oh, man, ain't no big problem. That's the thing that we do. And I believe that that is a huge problem. It is a huge problem. And that's something that we have to take on as ourselves and say, well, why are we doing this? And the fact that we know that we're doing this, why do we continue to do it? That shit needs to stop. Those are the things that we need to say, hey, this is something that's wrong and we not going to go for this shit no more. We're not going to allow this to happen like this anymore. So yes, we can stand up and we can start all of these different movements. Yes, we can stand up and we can say we're going to do all of these things different, times up. We can do all of that. But we also need to be able to say, hey, it's wrong, let's fix it. It's wrong, let's stop it. It's wrong, let's call it out. Because that's the thing that we get so used to not doing, to where we just say, oh well, damn, wow, or we laugh, or we just watch, and we just pull out our phones and we just look at it and we just keep going. That's what we wind up doing. And that's where that problem is. That's where I see us getting to a situation where we just think it's okay and we laugh at the shit when it happens to men, and then when we do something to defend ourselves, we wrong. Just like when the dude uppercutted the lady on the damn video, it was like, it was all good until he uppercutted her ass, and what was the first thing you heard? That's a female, man. You can't do that. But when she spit on this dude, that was okay. When she got up in his face and was like, you puss ass nigga, you hoe ass nigga, nigga, what the fuck, nigga, nigga, you a hoe ass nigga, nigga, get your motherfucking ass. That's okay. And the minute shit goes left and a dude takes up for himself, then they wrong. But when we see the shit happening, we don't want to say a damn thing. We don't want to do a damn thing. Case in point.
Fucking bitch.
Yo.
Yeah,
Yo, what the fuck? Bro, get out my car, cuz.
I'm getting out your car.
Fuck you punching in my face for, nigga? I ain't put my hands on you.
Cause I fucking felt like it, bitch. Thank you.
Bye. Come on, yo. What is you doing, fam? Yo, what is you doing? Fam, yo, get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Yo, what are you fucking doing, bro? Get out of the car. Why are you trying to bite me, dog? Yo, can you please? Yo, chill, fam. Yo, what are you? Yo.
You wanna videotape some shit?
Yeah, because you're acting a fucking fool, bro. Get out of here. Yo, get out. Yo, what are you? Yo, chill, cuz, chill, bro, chill. Get the fuck. Yo, homies, yo, damn.
Fam, stop, bro. Get out the car. Get out my car. Get out my car. Bro, get out my car. Get out my car. Fam. Go ahead, yo. Go ahead, yo. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't put your hands on me.
You fucking punching in my face. Get out of here.
Don't put your hands on me.
Bro, get out of here. Get out.
Don't put your hands
What do you leave?
Don't put your hands on me.
I'm gonna push you. Like,
do not put your hands
bro, don't
on
ball
me.
your fist up like you about to punch me.
And she thinks that what she did was okay. This is, and she looks like she's drunk or she high or something. But this is what she thinks. This is the true reality of what she thinks she's allowed to do and she's okay with doing. And yes, she did have scissors in that other video. She's truly okay with this right here. She thinks this is perfectly fine until he puts his hands on her. And then what does she do? Don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me. Now the problem with this is, had this guy not been recording this, and he would have beat her, hit her, kicked her, put her out his car, she would have called the police and his ass would have went to jail. He definitely would have went to jail. And at what point do he have to defend himself? Nothing. It's his word against hers. He put a mark on her, a scratch on her, or anything. He gone. And that's the truth.
Yo, what the fuck, bro?
She done already hit him right there.
I'm getting out your car.
Fuck you punching in my face for, nigga? I ain't put my hands on you.
Cause I fucking felt like it, bitch.
Say what you want to say. He a bitch, I get it. But you done already hit him. Ain't called the police or nothing. And he just wants her to leave.
Come on, yo.
What does she do? She climbs back in.
Yo, what are you doing? Fam, yo, get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Yo, what are you fucking doing, bro? Get out of the car. Why are you trying to bite me, dog? Yo, can you please? Yo, chill, fam. Yo, what are you? Yo.
Look at this shit.
Videotape some shit.
Yeah, because you're acting a fucking fool, bro. Get out of here. Yo, get out. Yo, what are you? Yo, chill, cuz, chill, bro, chill. Get the fuck. Yo, homies. Yo, fam, stop, bro. Get out the car. Get out my car. Get out my car, bro. Get out my car. Get out my car, fam. Go ahead, yo. Go ahead, yo. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't put your hands on me.
You fucking punching in my face. Get out of here.
Don't put your hands on me.
Bro, get out of here. Get out.
Don't put your hands
What do you leave?
Don't put your hands on me.
I'm gonna push you. Like,
do not put your hands
bro, don't
on
ball
me.
your fist up like you about to punch me again.
Don't put your hands on me.
Bruh.
Don't put your fucking hands on me.
Just get out my car. All you gotta do is get out.
Don't put your
All you gotta do is leave. All you gotta do is leave.
Get your hands off of me.
Bruh.
Get your hands off
All you gotta
of
do
me.
is leave, bro.
Get your hands off of me.
Go ahead then.
Get your fucking hands off of me.
Can you
She
please
in
get out my
his
car?
Get your hands off of me right the fuck now.
Alright, my hands is off you. Can you go?
She in his car.
Can you go, please?
And telling him,
Can you
and
go?
all he's telling her to do is just leave. After she got back in the car.
You can put your hands on me.
Oh my god, yo. Can you just leave? Yo, what the fuck is you doing? Yo, what are you doing, bro? Yo, what the fuck is you doing? Yo, chill the fuck out. Yo, move, man. Yo, move. Yo. Get the fuck is you
business.
Bro, get the fuck off of me. Why is you breaking me, cuz? Move. Yo, move. Yo, bro.
And here's the thing, and this is why when I saw this, I was just like, why don't he just mollywop and whoop the shit out this bitch and get her the fuck out of his car? And that's when I thought, I said, she drunk. She already gonna fucking lie. I can tell you that right now. She called the police and she got any type of mark on her, his ass going to jail. His ass is going to jail. That's all it is to it. And the other thing about this and the reality of all of this is that we have to accept the fact and say, how many times does this happen where it don't get recorded? How many times does this happen where it don't get reported? So you got plenty of these situations happening that are not being reported. They're not even being recorded so that you can even have any type of video. And then there's so many of us that ain't saying shit at all because we don't want the embarrassment. Because if you look at this dude, if you look at this video, you will see there are actually, I think I still have it. Hold up. Wait. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Because that was just the video part. Yes. Hold the fucking phone. Hang on. Let me show you this. I can minimize that. Maximize this. And here's the video. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen. Yes, it'll let me do it. Perfect. All right, so let's move this up all the way up. Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah. All right, hold on. Here we go. I got it. I just got to slide this guy up to the top. And I got so many goddamn videos up here. Turn that off. Boom. There we go. Now, this is awesome. You want to let me show you why I say what I'm saying. Let me move this over here real quick, just so I can get it as big as I possibly can, so that we can see what I'm talking about. Let me blow that all. There we go. I'm gonna give you the full screen. What do you see right here? 662 people mad, right? Okay. 419 people laughing. And this is out of 1,700 people that actually put a like or something on it. 333 thumbs up. 195 shocked. 97 sad. And then you got 6 that's just like, damn, I heart this. I loved it. So there's your entertainment piece of it. I'm going to be fair. The entertainment factor of it is 6 people loved it. 195 people wowed it. That's the shock value. We don't know if they were upset or if they was happy or if they were just entertained. So we going to say that out of this, a little bit over 200 people was, I guess, in the middle. Then you had 600 people that were pissed off about it, angry about it, did not approve. But then you have 419 people that laughed. And when you look at the laughs, let's do that. Women. Man. Women. Woman. 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 Man. Woman. Man. Woman. Woman. Oh, that's a kid. Woman. Man. Man. Woman. Oh, no, that's a man. Woman. 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 Man. Woman. See more. Let's see more. Woman. 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 Man. Woman. Woman. Man. Woman. 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 That's a man. Woman. Man. I hope a woman name ain't Tank. My point is this. For such a group of people, and I'm saying this about women, that are more so inclined to be in an abusive relationship or in an abusive situation, you would think that they would be the greater majority, because that was about half. It was about 50-50 from what we just saw. You would think that they would be more so appalled than, or there would be more laughing from men than there were from women. Because you would think that women would not be laughing as much, because 63 or 67, whatever that statistic, I want to say 63% or 67%, 67%. 67, no, it's not 67%, it's 60%. 60% of women are in abusive relationships. So you would think the greater majority of women would be understanding to this, and their hearts there would be an outpour of this. So you would think that if there are groups that are laughing, you would think that there would be more men laughing, way more men laughing than women, because this would be something so shocking to men. It would be so shocking to men to where they're like, well, damn. But no, there was just as many women laughing as men. That's the problem. And that's the thing that I'm trying to really get to, is to say, well, when does it just become a people thing? When does it just become a human thing, a humanity thing? When does it get past the point of it being, oh, it's the women, oh, it's the men, and it's just, this is wrong for people? Can't we see that this is something that we need to look at? So when we do have these movements, when we do have these uprisings and these revolutions, that there's somebody who will say, well, wait a minute, Me Too people. Let's make sure that this is just a thing that is about doing the right thing, as opposed to it just being a thing about y'all thinking y'all better and y'all thinking y'all should have what this person done built and what this person done actually created on their own. Let's just make sure that this ain't no power grab. Let's just make sure that this ain't just a money grab. Let's make sure that this is a people thing. Let's make sure that this is a thing that's going to make humanity better. Tearing down one group to build up another never does us any justice. All it does is keeps both sides at war. That's it. That's it, and that's all. It's like when you look at just the things that we do and that we allow to do and that we think are okay, and that we just don't want to even begin to say, well, maybe they could be wrong. Yeah, I get the fact that you think that what you're saying initially doesn't sound right. Yeah, I get the fact that let's look at this from a people perspective. Because when you do that, you now have to take into a couple things: responsibility, accountability, and the whole justification of this. So saying, hey, is what they're doing, what's the responsibility part of this? So you went over to this dude's house at 2 o'clock in the morning and you didn't think that you was going to have sex with him. Okay? How about we be more responsible with that? Now, if he raped you, he raped you. Yes, he should go to jail. Absolutely. But this shouldn't be an ongoing practice, to where you just saying, oh yeah, I went to his room and, well, he's bigger than you, he's stronger than you. Why would you put yourself in a situation to where you could be overpowered? Because even if he does go to jail for it, you still been violated. Wouldn't your protection and your safety be the thing to be first and foremost at the front of this whole thing, to avoid that from happening, as opposed to getting the person that did it? Let's try to prevent it. That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, when you see things like that, and you see a dude that actually has everything within him that he's trying to do to keep him from going to jail, to keep him from being a statistic, or to keep him from giving her the upper hand to where he gets to go to jail and do time, get a record, lose his job, gotta pay money for a lawyer, gotta do all of that, and this is what's happening. This is what we don't want to acknowledge.
Yo, what the fuck, bro?
Is happening.
Get out my car, guys.
I'm getting out your car.
This is what we don't want to
nigga. I ain't put my hands on you.
This is what we don't want to look at. This is what we want to just say, oh, well, that happened, but it don't happen as much. When are you having a call-in show? I can do a call-in show maybe sometime this week.
Come on, yo.
That's no problem.
What is you doing, fam? Yo, what is you doing? Fam, yo, get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Yo, what are you fucking doing, bro?
This
Get out
is
of the
a
car.
reality.
Why are you trying to bite me, dog? Yo, can you please? Yo, chill, fam. Yo, what are you? Yo.
You wanna videotape some shit?
Yeah, because you're acting a fucking fool, bro. Get out of here. Yo, get out. Yo, what are you? Yo, chill,
Like,
cuz, chill.
Take that.
Bro,
Can't
chill.
stop, won't
Get the
stop.
fuck. Yo, homies. Yo, fam, stop,
Damn.
bro.
Stop.
Yo, get out the car. Get out my car. Get out my car. Bro, get out my.
He couldn't, there was probably a moment where he could have just pulled off, but he could have rolled over her foot. He could have hit her with the door. She could have gotten injured. When you look at it, Jason, I totally get what you're saying. She could have gotten injured and could have like been reaching back in and gotten hurt, and he would have went to jail for that shit. Plain and simple. She calls the police, and you know this. Call the police. I got the bruise to prove it. I got the mark to prove it. I'm at the hospital getting checked out. What's gonna happen? Warrant for his arrest. Hey, here's what happened. Here's what she's saying. You going. No camera involved. Let's just take the camera piece out of it. If that same shit happened, bam.
I'm getting out your car.
She getting out.
Fuck you punching in my face for, nigga? I ain't put my hands on you.
Cause I fucking felt like it, bitch.
Because I fucking felt like it. He could have pulled off, but that arm being in there could have hurt her. And he still had her phone. I didn't even see that. Her phone is still in the car.
Fuck you punching in my face for, nigga? I ain't put my hands on you.
She could have called him and be like, he still got my phone. I want him arrested or whatever. Boom.
Bye.
He like, bye. And here she go.
Come on, yo. What is you doing, fam? Yo, what is you doing? Fam, yo, get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car.
Now, me personally, what I would have done is I would have got my keys, turned that car off, and got the fuck out the car. And be like, bitch, go. Call the police. Hey, look, come get this bitch. That's what I would have done. But at the end of the day, when you not thinking and you don't expect this to happen, what do? What do? That's just me. I have a tactical mind, so I'm always calculating and I'm thinking ahead. Everybody don't have that. Everybody don't have the ability to do that. So it's like, what do you do in this situation? And my thing to this is just that there is a set standard of it just being to where dudes take this. There are plenty of dudes that I know that will see this and be like, man, that shit happened to me before. Or man, that happened to my cousin. Or man, that happened to my brother. And she could have trashed this car. At the end of the day, he still got to go through the whole fact of calling the police, telling the police, hoping the police believe him, and then got to press charges. And even when you talking to the police police don't even want to deal with domestics, let alone dealing with domestics where it's some petty shit like this, because that's what they gonna think. Oh man, come on, let that go. I don't want to have to do no report over this. Oh, I don't want to have to go and write this up, man. Man, y'all just can't, let bygones be bygones tonight. Because it's easier for them to just let that shit go and you be like, I don't want to press charges. I don't want to, lock her up. Because at the end of the day, will a dude wind up taking her back? Sure will. A dude will be more forgiving after some head, after some pussy. He gonna be more forgiving than a woman would be. Drop them charges, I give you some head. They drop. Drop them charges, you can hit it one more time. They drop. So it's like you don't want to have to deal with that, and then the police will even make you feel like you less than, or you on some petty shit, or you on some punk shit because you sitting here going through this. Man, this your girl. This a woman. You gonna file a report against her? Oh man. The odds of you getting a police officer who gonna be like, you wanna lock her up? We locking her ass up. She did this? You wanna lock her up? Let's go. It's very seldom you will get that. You will get a police that will more likely be more inclined to diffuse and just say y'all both go y'all separate ways in a situation like this where the man is the one that's being abused than you will with a woman. Now if that's a woman, police gonna come on, quick, let's go, because they don't want the fallout of them not doing that. You mean to tell me the police was there and they let him go? And he came back and hit her. He came back and stabbed her. He came back and killed her. He shot her. He burned up. They don't want to deal with that fallout. So a dude going regardless. At the slightest hint and just that much of an evidence. The evidence of a mustard seed. The size of a mustard seed. Your ass going.
Get out the car. Yo, what are you fucking doing, bro? Get out of the car. Why are you trying to bite me, dog? Yo, can you please? Yo, chill, fam. Yo, what are you? Yo.
And she won't stop.
Yeah, because you're acting a fucking fool, bro.
Absolutely,
get out of here.
The man would have went to jail with this.
Yo, what are you? Yo, chill, cuz, chill, bro, chill. What the fuck? Yo, homies, yo, fam, stop, bro. Get out the car. Get out my car. Get out my car, bro. Get out my car. Get out my car, fam. Go ahead,
let me give a shout out to my man.
Go ahead.
D-Day.
Don't put
84
your hands on me.
donated to the cash out.
Punching my face. Get out of here.
Don't put your hands on me.
Bro, get out of here. Get out.
Don't put your hands
on me. Leave.
Don't put your hands on me.
Also, let me give a shout out to my man Eugene.
Well, don't ball your fist up like you about to push me again.
That's what's up.
Bruh.
Don't put your fucking
good
hands
insight,
on me.
funny commentary.
All you gotta do is get out.
That was on Monday.
All you gotta do is leave.
I didn't get to.
All you gotta do is
Get
leave.
your hands off of me.
Bruh.
Get your hands off of me.
All you gotta do is leave, bro.
Get your hands off of me.
Go ahead then.
Get your fucking hands off of me.
Can you please get out my car?
Get your hands off of me right the fuck
Could very
now.
well be a beta male.
Can you go?
And it's like, even when you looking at it in that aspect and you saying that person's a beta male, it still doesn't negate the fact. And I mean, this dude could even be a cuck. It don't matter. The fact of the matter is that when the physical abuse takes place, there is very little recourse for men. There are very little resources for men. So the fact that he didn't haul off and whoop her ass, would that have made him a alpha male? Nope. It would have made him a go to jail. That's what it would have made him. It would have made him, I'ma get locked up male. It would have made him, I gotta go get me a lawyer male. This is like one of those things, and that's what I'm saying. That this is a human issue. This is a people issue. This ain't no man or woman thing. This is a thing about us saying what's right and what's wrong. And if we all can come to a consensus and say, like what I talked about the other video, keep your hands, feet, and other objects to yourself. If we can do that, then we won't have these problems, because it won't be a thing of your manhood being brought into questioning. It won't be a thing of a woman being the weaker vessel being brought into question. This is a people thing. Don't hit nobody. I don't care if you bigger than them, smaller than them. Keep your hands to yourself. That's the thing. Everybody's entitled to air, right? Why? Because we need it all as humans. Everybody's entitled to water. Why? Because we all need it as humans. Everybody's entitled to food. Why? Because we all need it as humans. Everybody needs shelter. Why? Because we all need it as humans. Everybody should not hit each other. Why? Because it's the best thing for us all as humans. Because when you begin to judge if it's a man or a woman, when you begin to judge if it's a boy or a girl, when you begin to judge if it's a kid or an adult, you shouldn't put your hands on nobody. Because let me tell you something. If your son is in school and he's 5 years old and a girl is beating his ass, do you want your son to get beat? If your daughter's in school and she's getting her ass beat by another girl or by another boy, do you want them to get beat? You shouldn't want your kid to get his ass whooped, period. Or her ass whooped, period. So it shouldn't be a thing of if it's a big girl or a little girl, if it's a big boy or a little boy. It should just be a thing of, I don't want nobody putting their hands on my kid. Don't hit my son. Don't hit my daughter. because I don't want my kid to hit them. That's where we need to get with this. That's where we need to go with this. I don't want to debate the semantics of it saying, well, we don't know what they did before he started recording. We don't know what she did to deserve for her to want to hit him. We don't know what could have happened. Dude probably did some fuck shit anyway. Man, that bitch was probably lying. Dude probably hit her ass because she fucked his brother. She deserved to get her ass beat. How about we just say everybody deserves to not get hit? Then we don't have to try to justify why somebody got hit. We don't have to try to justify how many times somebody got hit. We don't have to justify where they actually got hit at. Just don't do it. I'm not gonna hit you, don't hit me. Whether we the same sex, whether we the same age, whether we the same size, it don't matter. Let's just not do it. And I think I'm gonna end with that. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in, everybody that came in and clicked the like button, everybody that took a moment to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching it on Facebook, go ahead and click the like button. Go ahead and click the subscribe button on the link on YouTube. I appreciate everybody that stopped through on tonight and took a gander and spent some time with your boy. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. If you got any questions, please feel free to put that in the comment section. I do read the comment section. I don't read it every day, but I do read it. And man, to whoever put into the chat about having a call-in show, I can definitely figure something out. Maybe we can do that this week and just do a chat or just a round table or just talking about whatever. So we could absolutely do that. But I just want to say shout out to everybody who stopped by. Shout out to my man DJ Just JOK on the Soto podcast. And shout out to my brother like no other. One of the smartest dudes I've ever known in my life is Tommy Sotomayor. Salute to you, brother. Please go get the movie Fatherless America. Please support the movie Fatherless America. You can get it on Amazon and you can get it on the website at fatherlessamerica.com. It is definitely worth your time, your energy, and your resources to actually watch. So definitely do that. And I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. And you know what? I'm going to go out with the movie. Why not? Give my boy another promo. Check it out.
Children from fatherless homes in this country, 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children who have a father in the home. 32 times more likely to run away. 20 times more likely to have a behavioral disorder. 14 times more likely to become sexually aggressive or commit rape. 10 times more likely to engage in drug abuse. It just breaks my heart. No heat, no judgment.
The woman will open up and say, you know what, not having my father really is a problem, really is an issue. And I wish we could get more black women to just point out, wait a minute, it's not cool that your kids don't have that father. It's not cool that you didn't grow up with yours. It's not, I don't need no man. It's not, fathers don't matter. It's not, niggas ain't shit. It's actually, we as a people, we as a culture, we as a community have to deal with each other. And in dealing with each other, if we're creating children, if we're having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with the fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children.